There is a certain murder story which begins with some sacred code. With all the deliberateness of the turtle, the author proceeds page by page to chapter 49 entitled Forensic Science. In the final chapter, that is chapter number 50, the characters are introduced. And on the penultimate page of the book, the murder is committed. The mystery is solved on the final page. This story is a commentary on the method of the physics teacher, and since this method is so characteristic of the physics classroom, it is a sad commentary. For this, everyone is to blame, including Galileo. In his book, The Dialogues Concerning Two New Sciences, he set down the principles of uniform and accelerated motion. In the context of discussing the acceleration associated with the falling object, Galileo was asked about the cause of motion. He sidestepped the question and warned the reader to avoid fantasizing about why things fall and to examine instead the properties of accelerated motion, that is, how they fall. For him, it was the how of the accelerated motion, not the why. Today, about 4 centuries later, we are still following the same tradition. Galileo's advice still governs the organization of the most of the textbooks and the courses syllabi all over the world. I believe it is time to examine the how, not why dictum. What is the question that most fascinates the human mind, whether it's a child or an adult? It is the question why. As children pester their parents with the question, the parents themselves wonder about the cause of the things. We physicists are in the enviable position of having the answers to the most profound whys that can be asked. The marvels of physics are the grand principles that have united the heavens in the earth and have synthesized rubber and consolidated heat into the realm of mechanics. The powerful principles of physics are the models for other professionals who are seeking but have not found answers to the whys in their own disciplines. Yet, in spite of this opportunity that we have to use these principles to capture the immediate attention and to spark the genuine interest of students, we physicists answer no why before its time. Like the author of the murder story, we will methodically and laboriously lay all the groundwork before we actually mention the good stuff. First, we sedate our students with exhaustively detailed answers to a plethora of unmotivated hows. When we finally get to the questions of the intrinsic interest, that is the whys, many of our students could care less. For example, we begin thermodynamics with the hows of temperature, heat scales, specific heat, etc., and may never get to the second law of thermodynamics, which is a powerful generalization. The same approach is followed in mechanics and electromagnetism. Galileo had an excuse for this how approach. We do not. Galileo's approach to physics was not only appropriate for his time, but it was also mandated by the limitations of his own understanding. His approach, however, is not appropriate or necessary in our day. The most powerful generalizations of physics give us the why of the world. We could just as well start with this generalization and work down to the details rather than to begin with the details and then work up. An approach would immediately stimulate the thinking of students and would provide the motivation for learning the details. It is true, after all, that the answers to the whys that come from the broad principles of a discipline subsume the how questions, not the other way round. The entire how answers in a book cannot generate even a single why answer. It is not easy to change. Nevertheless, the effort should be made. It is time to abandon the Galilean approach to physics and to exploit the understanding that has accumulated over the last 500 years. It is the why of things that fascinates the human mind, and it is the generalizations of physics that provides many of the answers. I hope I have been able to stress the importance of the whys rather than the hows in physics and in our teaching of physics.